A very good morning and a happy Monday to everyone. Today is Monday, September the 27th, 2021. Let's start the new week with a story. The story about the elves and the shoemaker.
Good morning, happy Monday. We will start with a new week of video lessons and Zoom classes. The first one is today, Monday, September the 27th. So we will start as every Monday with reading comprehension. This week, not a true story, but a so-called fable. A fable is like a story that is not true. For example, Snow White or Cinderella. Those stories are fables. So today we will read about a shoemaker and his elves, but that's for later. We will start with 6 vocabulary words. Okay, the first 3 words for today. Number 1, S-H-O-E. You know this word, right? Shoe. And then M-A-K-E-R. That is maker. Shoemaker. Now, what is a shoemaker? Somebody that makes shirts? No, of course not. A shoemaker is somebody that makes shoes, right? That's why they call a shoemaker. So the story is about a very poor shoemaker and his wife. So a shoemaker, this man is making shoes. Okay, the next one, number 2, E-L-V-E-S. Elves. Elves. What are elves? Elves are imaginary creatures. They don't really exist. But for example, Santa Claus has a lot of elves on the North Pole to help him pack all his gifts. They usually have like little pointy ears and they are very small. Okay, when something happens and you don't know who did it, they sometimes say, oh, the elves did it. Right? So later in the story, the elves will help the shoemaker. But we don't really read about the elves. We don't see the elves, but we know the elves are helping the shoemaker. So the elves are not real, they're little helpers. Number 3, E-D-G-E. E-D-G-E. Edge. Edge. So in the story it says the shoemaker and his wife live in a little house on the edge of the forest. So the edge in this case means on the border of the forest, so where the forest is almost finished. But for example, everything has an edge. For this surface, for example, this is the edge. So the outer boundaries of anything is called the edge. So this is the edge of the phone case. So if you say the edge of the forest, you have a big forest, and then at the end of the forest, that's the edge of the forest. Okay? Okay, one more time. Shoemaker. S-H-O-E-M-A-K-E-R. Number 2, elves. E-L-V-E-S. And number 3, edge. E-D-G-E. Okay, let's have a look at 3 more. Okay, 3 more. Number 4, L-E-A-T-H-E-R. L-E-A-T-H-E-R. Leather. Leather. What is leather? Leather is, for example, this is leather, but this is not real leather, this is fake leather. Real leather is made from the skin of animals, usually cow hides. So it's very strong material and you can use it to make shoes, for example. But leather is quite expensive, so leather shoes are usually more expensive than, for example, this one. This is not real leather, so this is cheaper. That's why people like to buy the leather that's not real. But real leather comes from animals, usually from cows or from crocodiles. You also have crocodile leather. There is ostrich leather. So leather, natural material, comes from cows. It's very strong, and in the story you will see that the shoemaker makes shoes out of it. Okay, the next one, stitches. Stitches. If you take away the es, you have stitch. You know stitch, right? The blue animal. I think I have a pillow around here somewhere. So, stitches. Stitches. What are stitches? Well, I don't know if you can see it. Let me try to show you. Do you see on the edge here, there is thread keeping this together, right? It's very hard to see. But if you look close, so at the top here, you see this stitches. So it is with a needle and a thread. Tick, tick. One of these is called a stitch, and these are stitches. So when you have to put two fabrics together with thread, you put a needle, and then every time the needle goes through the fabric, it's called a stitch. Okay? So stitches look like this. Also your shirt, everything you wear has stitches. Good, next one, number 6. A word in the past tense. B-O-U-G-H-T. B-O-U-G-H-T. What is the present tense for this word? I think you know. Right, buy. So, bought is past tense for buy. Today I buy a new shirt. Yesterday I bought a new shirt. Okay, so one more time. Number 4. L-E-A-T-H-E-R. Leather. 5. Stitches. S-T-I-T-C-H-E-S. Stitches. Number 6. Bought. B-O-U-G-H-T. The past tense for buy. Okay, let's have a look at our story for this week. So, as I said in the beginning, the story this week is a fable. It's not a true story, it's a fantasy story, same as Cinderella or Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, so let's read the first part of the story. Let's read about the shoemaker and his wife and what happens.
Okay, let's read the story. The Shoemaker and the Elves. A shoemaker and his wife lived in a little house on the edge of the woods. They were very, very poor, and each day they grew poorer and poorer. One more time. A shoemaker and his wife lived in a little house on the edge of the woods. They were very, very poor, and each day they grew poorer and poorer. At last there was nothing left in the house but leather for one pair of shoes. "I will cut out this last pair of shoes," the shoemaker said to his wife. "Tomorrow I will sew them and pack them." One more time. At last there was nothing left in the house but leather for one pair of shoes. "I will cut out this last pair of shoes," the shoemaker said to his wife. "Tomorrow I will sew them and pack them." So he cut out the leather and left it on his bench. The next morning, he went into his shop to make the shoes. What did he see? One more time. So he cut out the leather and left it on his bench. The next morning, he went into his shop to make the shoes. But what did he see? He saw a pair of shoes all nicely made and ready to be sold. The stitches were so neat and the shoes so well made that they were quickly sold. With the money, the poor shoemaker bought leather for 2 pairs of shoes. One more time. A pair of shoes all nicely made and ready to be sold. The stitches were so neat and the shoes so well made that they were very quickly sold. With the money, the poor shoemaker bought leather for 2 pairs of shoes. Then he said to his wife, I will cut out the leather for 2 pairs of shoes. Tomorrow I will sew them and pack them. So he cut out the leather for the shoes and left it on his bench. One more time. Then he said to his wife, I will cut out the leather for 2 pairs of shoes. Tomorrow I will sew them and pack them. So he cut out the leather for the shoes and again left it on his bench.
Strange. He just puts the leather there and the next day he has a pair of shoes. Interesting. Okay, let's see how this will end tomorrow when we read part 2, and then there's only a few, I think only 4 questions on the story, so it's not that much. Okay, I'll see you in the afternoon for our math class. For now, bye bye.